Right. Good morning, all. Good morning, good evening. We'll start the session, right? So, in the last class, we discussed about the remote connections, right? RDP. So, what is RDP? How it will work? How we will connect to the servers in the organization in the real time, and how many ways we can connect to the servers, and what are the challenges? Okay, what are the challenges? And how to install the .NET framework as a prerequisite to install SQL Server. We need .NET framework. So how to install .NET framework, and we also discussed about the some server options like log off, sign out, disconnect. What is the meaning of log off, sign out, and disconnect? Right? All these things we discussed in the previous session. Okay. So in this session, we can straight away go ahead to install the SQL Server. Okay, so we'll discuss now. We will discuss SQL Server installation. So as everything is ready, the platform is ready, all the tools also ready. So now we are good to install the SQL Server. So first let me start the VM. Okay, so I'm going to install SQL Server in this virtual machine. So we'll start the VM first. Generally in the organizations, as I said, servers will be up and running, so no need to start. And till yesterday, till last class, everything will be done by Windows team, network team, storage team, and all, right? So from today onwards, once the server is ready, once the machine is ready, okay, now we are good to install the SQL Server. So what we can do now, we can go ahead and we can install the SQL Server as a DBA. Our work will start from here. The whatever previous things, previous demos and all, we are setting up the environments. As for our course, we are the Windows team, we are the network team, we are the storage team, okay, and we are the DBA team. So DBA is the main goal, and the other things to set up the environment, we should know all these things, right? So that's why till yesterday, it's a completely infrastructure related thing. So they are going to take care of the infrastructure. Once the server is ready, as discussed earlier, we are good to install SQL Server in that particular machine, guys. Okay. So prerequisites to install the SQL Server, as I said, okay, we discussed about the hardware and software components, okay, hardware and software requirements. Okay, so to install the SQL Server, so minimum 1 GB RAM is required, okay, and 4 GB storage is required, minimum 4 GB storage is required, and one CPU is required from the hardware side. And from the software side, we need an operating system. Okay, the compatible operating system, which one is compatible? So the compatible operating system we need, correct? And then we need SQL Server software, right, to install the SQL Server. For example, if you want to install Zoom, you will download Zoom software, right? If you want to install Oracle VirtualBox, you will download Oracle VirtualBox software, right? In the same way, if I want to install SQL Server, I need a SQL Server software. Okay, Windows Server, and then SQL Server software, and then .NET framework, and then to connect to the servers, we also need Management Studio. So these are all the main software requirements to install the SQL Server, guys. These are all the main software requirements to install the SQL Server, guys. So Sneha, this is first class to you, the other Sneha. So don't worry, just try to concentrate. Okay, let's see. And again, I'm going to share the recordings, so you don't worry at all. So just how much you can just try to concentrate, okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So now what we can do, let me go to the server. Server is ready. Okay, so we'll connect to the server through RDP first. Okay, so let's connect to the server and using this RDP tool. Okay, so I just yesterday asked you, right, to um, what is that, pin, to pin on the taskbar. Okay, so just pin on the taskbar. If you don't see on the taskbar, again, you know, right, how to open. We have a shortcut Windows or MSTSC, or click on Windows icon, in your laptop, you can just simply type remote. Okay, when you type remote, automatically you can see this tool, remote desktop connection tool. You have to simply click on that, automatically it will open like this. Okay, so just pin it on taskbar so that no need to search every time. Directly you can click on the items that are there on the taskbar. Okay, so now the same server you can see here, SSKN server. So now we are going to, so how the request will come, as I said earlier, how the request will come. So initially a user who is looking for the, guys, we are not installing SQL Server for RDBA purpose. Remember one thing, we are there to maintain, to manage the SQL servers. The requirement is not ours. As I said, if I want to introduce one application, if I want to introduce one application, imagine in the backend, if I decided to use MS SQL Server, then I will raise a request in the organization. So I am from application team. So from application team, if they have any requirements for any new application, then definitely if they decided to go with a SQL Server, MS SQL Server, then application team will raise a request. Hey DBA team, we need SQL Server 2019 or we need SQL Server 2022. So application team will request. It's not like we'll buy, because we don't know what is their requirement, where they are going to use, how big application it is, whether it is a big application or small application or medium scale application, and how many resources, especially while designing the server, architects will be there. Architects will talk to the application team will talk to the architects. So they both will sit together and they will decide how much RAM is required for their application, how frequently the transactions are going to come, how busy the system is. So based on that, application team will give some inputs to architects. Architects are going to decide how much RAM is required for that machine, how much storage is required for that machine, how much, okay, the CPU cores is required for that machine. Architects will decide and architects will update the application team. Then application team will raise a request to install SQL Server. So they will simply raise a request to install the SQL Server. But we have to install the SQL Server, we should have a virtual machine, right? So this ticket first it will goes to Windows team. They will create the virtual machine and then they will install the operating system. And from Windows side, whatever things they have to do, they will do it. Then it will go to the network side. Network side, some ports and all they will open, okay, to communicate with other servers. So they will open some ports and all. Then in case if you want to add extra storage, generally Windows team itself will maintain the storage also in the organization. If not, there will be a separate storage team will be there. The storage team, okay, will add the storage and all, respect to storage and all. And finally, once everything is ready, it will come to us. The last action is we have to connect to the server. So in the ticket, they will mention, Shanmukh, now you are logging into the server directly and you are checking the server name or IP address. But in the organization, you are saying we cannot log into the servers directly. Then how we will get the server name or IP address? In which machine we have to install? How we will get to know, guys?
From Windows team,
What they will do, Windows team?
they'll provide the server name,
Hmm.
Windows server name.
Why they will provide? Windows team is
They
not
will provide us the credentials.
credentials, Himanshu. Hmm.
Yes.
Windows,
Yeah.
Swarna, Windows team will create machines for multiple purposes. Okay, so they will not give any server name to us. Okay. Next, Himanshu, credentials. Okay.
Sir,
Next, yes, Madhu.
as the
Actually,
application team requested us to install the SQL Server, right, sir? So
Mm.
they have raised the ticket to create the create the virtual machine with the Windows team to install
Correct.
Windows Server.
Mm.
Once it is done, they also in the same ticket, I think they will request us to install the SQL Server by
Correct.
mentioning the server name.
Correct. Okay, so application team itself will specify the server name. Okay, application team will decide the server name. By because see here, do you understand anything of the server name, guys? CGPTTX DB02. Do you understand anything here?
host name.
Not exactly.
It is a naming convention followed by the application team, I think.
Correct. So for every server, there will be a naming convention. Okay, so if you see here on an outline, you cannot understand what is the server name CGPT BLR DB01P. You don't understand. Every meaning will have a name. Sorry, every name will have a meaning, right? Your name will have a meaning. My name will have a meaning. So every name will have a meaning. In the same way, server names also will have a meaning. You should be able to understand why the server names are designed like this only. Few organizations, it depends. While naming the child, how we will take care. In the same way, you have your own methods, your own strategies to name a child. In the same way, organizations also will have their own strategies. Okay, sometimes in some families, they will add four fathers' names. In some families, for girls, they will add father name. Right? Their own standards, that is. Correct? In the same way, in naming the server also, they'll have their own standards. If you unlock it, if you decode the server, okay, how it will be see, guys? CGPT means this is a application name. Generally in the server name, we'll try to include the application name. Why? Because we have to handle multiple applications. We have to handle multiple applications. So to which application database server this is, we should be able to identify, right? If you don't identify, instead of one server, if you reboot another server, it will create a problem, right? So in the server name, it includes the application name. CGPT means this is ChatGPT related database server. CGPT, ChatGPT. And this is created in which location? Which location? Next, the server name also will have a location, data center name. Which location? Whether it is a Bangalore location or it is a Texas location, TX, Texas, BLR, Bangalore, HYD, Hyderabad, MUM, Mumbai. So we'll include the area also, we'll include the country, we'll include the particular location also in the server name. And what type of server it is? Earlier in the beginning, we discussed like three-tier architecture. So for every application, how many tiers will be there? For every application, how many tiers will be there?
3 tiers.
Three tiers. What are those three tiers?
Application server, web server,
Windows
and
server,
database server.
application.
What is that? Swarna Windows Server.
Application
All are
with
Windows Server
database.
only, Swarna. Web server. Okay.
Web server, sorry. Web
Ah,
server, application server, database server.
very good. So how, see, they will have their own infrastructure. Web server will have web servers. Whatever this is, web server is there, right? To maintain the IP services front end. So they will have their own servers. And application team will have their own servers. DB team will have their own servers. So all three servers has to be up and running. Then only application will be up and running as discussed in the first class. So how we will identify that this is belongs to DB server, or this is belongs to application server, or this is belongs to web server? How to identify? Simply add DB here. If you add a DB database, okay, this is ChatGPT database server, which is there in the Bangalore data center. That is the meaning of the server. 01P you will get to know in future. Like P means production. As I said, we will have multiple environments. So I even gave you the example, right? So CTP, RC, RTM. If any corona vaccination is trying to introduce, so they will not directly introduce to the public. They will do lot of testing. They will test it on rats. They will test it on monkeys. They will go for a clinical trials. So even in the organization also, we will have the same kind of environments. If we want to do any changes to the application, we cannot directly do the changes. Or if we want to introduce anything to the market, we cannot directly introduce. First, we have to test it how it is in the lower environment, in the QA environment, in the test environment, in the dev environment, in the stage environment. Okay, these are all pre-prod environments or non-prod environments. So your server name also should have whether it is a production server, or if it is a production server, P. If it is a stage server, S. If it is a dev server, D. If it is a test server, T. If it is a QA server, Q. If it is a UAT server, U. So like this, it will be there. This is a general way of naming the servers. So Shanmukh, every organization will follow the same strategy. As I said earlier, while naming your kid, baby, you'll have your own strategies. Depends upon the religions, depends upon the areas, depends upon the families. Your own style will be there. Okay, you might include your father name, but not everyone will include the father name. Some people, they will include their caste name in their particular name, which reflects their caste. So that doesn't mean everyone has to do the same thing, correct? So in the same way, so this is a standard format. Most of the organizations will follow naming the servers. Few organizations, they will have their own strategy. Okay, guys. So this is how it will be. So who will decide this name? Application team will decide this name, server name and all. And application team will include in the ticket number, in the ticket number. So in the ticket, whatever they raised to install SQL Server, the server name will be there. No one will come and update you. Okay. Windows team generally request, application team generally request Windows team. Hey, please create the virtual machine with this name. So Windows team will create it and they will update in the ticket itself. They will directly update in the ticket itself. So once we open the ticket, we can see on which server we have to install the SQL Server. If you don't see, contact the application team, not Windows team. Application team who raised this request to install the SQL Server for their application purpose. So you have to contact the application team. So application team will provide the server name. Then you have to log into the server to install the SQL Server, guys. Are we good now? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's connect to the server now. Click on connect. So now you know the server name. No need to log into the server name now. Now this server name is updated in the ticket. Now you just open the RDP. You just directly copy pasted the server name, whatever is there in the ticket, and then okay, it is asking for credentials in the organization. Okay, you will not use administrator account, guys. In the organization, once you join in the organization, they will give you a separate account for you. Okay, to log into the servers, and also you have to click on more choices. You have to give the username and password. So here, okay, you have already logged into this machine. Here it is showing administrator. So click on connect yes, and then you will be jumped inside the server, guys. I have to clear this. Not clear all drawings. That is fine. And one more option will be there. Disable the notions. Disable the notions. Notions. I'm getting that. So I'm sharing the screen again. Okay, fine. Got it. Yes, you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
So what you can see on the screen?
Server manager
Server
dashboard.
manager.
Very good. Okay. So right. So now you can minimize. Yesterday we used the server manager, right, to install the .NET framework. Like if you want to install any Windows related tools, okay, we will use server manager, guys. Fine. So now if I want to install as per the notes, okay. So now if I want to install SQL Server, what I need? Windows Server operating system we have already installed. .NET framework we have already installed. Next guys.
Setup file. SqlServer setup files.
Setup file. So how we will get the setup file? SQL Server setup file. Remember one thing, SQL Server setup file. Whatever you can see this interface, in our practice, in your laptop, you will have full control. As you are installing, you are building from the scratch, you will have full control to this interface. But in the Windows, in the organization, which team will have full control like this? Which team? We have multiple teams, right? Which team will have full control like this?
Windows teams.
Only Windows team. VM team or Windows team.
VM.
We will not have any full control visibility like this in the organization. Remember, you will simply know the server names or you will have your own inventory. In the Excel sheet, you will maintain your own inventory. So in the ticketing tool, if any issue is there in any of the server IP address will be there or server name will be there. So you will directly log into the server. So you don't need the control on this interface. You are not going to control this interface, guys. This will be controlled by the Windows team or VM team. Both are same almost. Okay, Windows team will be VM team only. So the VM team, virtual machine team is going to control this interface. They only can start, stop machines whenever they want. That doesn't mean they can do it, but again, they have the control, they have the visibility like this. So as a DBA, what control we'll have? We will have a control on the machine, but not on the interface to manage the whole infrastructure. Okay, just we'll have a control on the machine. Once you log into the machine, then you can control, as you will have sysadmin permissions in the particular Windows server. You can do that. Okay, administrative permissions will be there, so you can do that. So now generally here how to attach the software, yesterday we remember, right? So now Windows operating system is installation is done. So now I need SQL Server software. So how to attach the SQL Server software? Simply replace, go to the settings, go to the storage section and then select this Windows Server and then simply replace with the SQL Server. In your case, you have to select this option and wherever you downloaded, how many of you downloaded the SQL Server softwares? All the softwares, please raise your hands. Please raise your hands. Very good, Hari. Next. Only one. You are waiting for any muhurtam? Vijay, okay. Please download, okay guys, yesterday I gave you the access, please download and create a separate folder and maintain the things, okay, properly. If you want to get complete interest, more interest again, as I said in the beginning of the course, you have to organize the things properly. If you organize the things properly, it is easy to pull it. So if you don't organize, to search itself, it will take 15 to 20 minutes. Generally, our interest will be 15 to 20 minutes, or you will get 15 to 20 minutes free time. In this 15 to 20 minutes, you are wasting your time for searching itself. Okay, where you will learn, when you will learn. Okay, so that is the reason, just organize the things properly. Now, so here what I can do here, VirtualBox Manager settings. So you have to click on choose optical file and I'm going to set up, I'm going to attach SQL Server 2019 and click OK. So this is how we can attach the SQL Server software. So once I attached here, okay, once I attached here, where I can see that, guys? Where I can see that? Once I attached here in the virtual machine settings, where I can see that in the server? Anyone remember yesterday we discussed this point?
In the D drives.
Very good. It will be attached as a drive in the virtual machine. It can be D drive, it can be E drive, any drive, but it will be attached as a drive. That is the use of the ISO file. ISO files, when you mount it, it will be attached as a drive. So now, Shanmukh, you are saying we can do from the virtual manager, Oracle VirtualBox Manager settings and all. That's fine, good. And on the other hand, you are saying we will not have any control on this interface. Then in the organization, how we can copy the setup file? How to copy the setup file in the organization? As if there is no control like this to attach, so I should be able to first copy the SQL Server setup file, right, to server. In which server I want to install it, I should be able to copy the SQL Server setup file. So how to copy? So remember one thing, to copy anything in the organization, we will have shared path. Okay, for every server, this path should be accessible from all the machines, from all the machines. Okay, so how the path will be, guys? This will be like this: double backslash some server name or IP address, anything like this. Okay, it will be like this example. I'm just mentioning as shared path, example. Okay, double backslash server name backslash something like SQL softwares, something like SQL 2019. Like this kind of path will be there. So this path you don't know why, because the things are like this. Okay, so in your organization you might store in separate location, in the other organization you might store in a separate location, right? You don't know where it is. So once you are in the organization, what is your responsibility? As part of the KT, you should ask the access to this path. Every DBA will have access to this path, and once you are added to the particular DBA group, you will also immediately get the access. But how do you know this is the path? So you have to ask in the organization, in the KT, knowledge transfer. Okay, you have to ask, can you please provide me the shared paths that our DBA team is using to copy the files. So once you know the shared path, you will copy the shared path, you will go to the server, you will open run in the server, you will paste it here, and you will hit enter. That shared path will be opened. Now, of course, as this is an example, you don't see that path, you don't see the folder and all. But in the organization, you will have a shared path. Okay. So that path, once you opened, if that path is having access on the server, okay, then definitely that path will work. So from that, you have to download the software, guys. Clear? Are we good, guys? How to download, how to copy the software in the organization? Everyone? Any questions, doubts?
Can I ask you something? It's like when I installed the Windows Server and everything, I directly just gone into the Google Drive and just installed it directly. Is it okay to do that? Like you shared it with or you just have to download it? Because my computer doesn't have that much space at that time.
How
So
it
I'm
is
just trying to.
possible, Imran? So sorry. How it is possible? How come you can install from directly Google Drive to the server? That is not possible. You have to download it.
Yeah, no, I just selected ISO file from there. I just copied it, I think, from Google Drive to my own drive,
Why to
and
copy?
not my own.
You have to download.
I didn't download. I just copied the ISO file to my section of my Google Drive. That's it.
How? Maybe you just copied from between any two different cloud accounts. Okay, you have to download the software, keep it in your hard disk, attach it, just follow the instructions that we have discussed yesterday.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Guys, are we good? How to copy? Not only SQL Server, any setup files, any patch files, any scripts, everything we will open the shared location. This shared location path, you have to get it from your colleagues, and then they will give you the shared path. That path, which server you want to open, go to that server, log into the server, open, run, copy paste the path, and then hit enter. If that server, that machine, okay, this machine is having access to this path, definitely it will work. If not, again you have to request Windows team to give the access to the path on so and so server. They will give access so that it will open. So once it is opened, then you are good to copy the software. Just right click copy, right click paste. That's it. Copy paste is easy, the same process, but you know the path. You should know the path. So that is how the things. So now I have already attached SQL software. So open this folder and just go to this PC. You can see the SQL software here. It will be attached as a D drive. Okay, you can see here as I have attached in the virtual machine settings. If you remember, just now we attached it, right? So as I have attached here in the storage, so this will be attached as a D drive in the particular server, and then that you can see here. So no need to copy paste now. Directly you have attached, and then you can, that is reflecting as a D drive in the particular server. Now open this setup file. Open. Now you can see lot of options. Okay. So which option we have to use now? Which option we have to start with? You can see the answer on the screen itself.
Setup dialog.
Setup file only, right? Any software generally will open setup file only, right? So here also you have to open the setup file. This is SQL 2019, SQL Server 2019. Okay, software I'm installing, guys. So the installation is same across all the versions, plus or minus 1 2 options as per the version features and all, but the main concept, the core concept is same. Okay. So again, what I have to do, guys, setup file is there. What I have to do now? Double click.
Right.
Right. Okay. Don't double click on it. As I said, you should open this with a run as administrator. You should open this with a run as, right click, and you can choose run as administrator. And to install SQL Server, you should have a local administrator privileges. Who can install? Not everyone can come and install. You should be part of local administrator. Local administrator means the server. You'll have whatever in the server. Okay, there is a group called administrators group. You should be part of that administrators group. Don't worry, in the security I'll tell you. Okay, where I can see the group, how to add members to that group, how can I make any person to the local administrator. So I'll show you. But remember, to install SQL Server, you should be part of local administrators group. Then only you can able to install the SQL Server in the Windows machines. Fine, guys. This is not yet live. Okay, remember one thing. We are building the things. We are building the things. Once the server is completely built, then we'll tag this server to application. Until then, you can reboot this multiple times. Nothing to worry. No need to take any approvals and all, because this is not live. This is a fresh box. This is not yet ready. Sometimes we'll install SQL Server on the existing machines also. That doesn't mean you can restart that existing machines also. No. It is a fresh box, new box, then only you're good to install, restart at any time. Generally, to install SQL Server, you have to restart the Windows machine. This is also one prerequisite to install SQL Server. Why? Because Windows team will install lot of softwares as part of their post installation, post configuration. Windows team will install like .NET Framework and different softwares. They will install. Yesterday night class is completed, so I just stopped the machine. So today morning I started the machine, no issues. It's almost restart only. But Windows servers will not be like that, right? No one will stop the servers, right? So sometimes when they install some components, they have to restart. They will not restart. They will leave it as it is. So next time when you are installing SQL Server, some checks will run. It will check whether Windows machine is rebooted or not. If Windows machine is rebooted, then only it will allow you to install SQL Server. Otherwise, the installation will be failed. So the first thing that you have to do before installing SQL Server is what you have to do.
Restart the Windows server.
Yes, first thing that we have to do to install SQL Server is reboot the machine. Okay, reboot the server, not your laptop. Okay, reboot the machine before installing and after installing also. Okay, before installing and after installing also, you have to reboot the machine. Not only installation, while patching the servers also it is good to reboot. While upgrading the servers also it is good to reboot. Okay, so these are all the important things that you have to keep in mind. So sometimes if you don't reboot, not in every case, sometimes you might face some difficulties in installing. You might get some weird errors while installing. The solution is you have to reboot. You'll save a lot of time. So this is the best practice. Even as this is a new machine, no need to take any approvals also. N number of times you can reboot until it is going to be live. Okay, so the first thing that you will do once everything is ready, the first thing that you will do is just reboot the machine once. Just reboot the machine once. How to reboot? I hope everyone knows. Like same laptop, click on the Windows button and then power button and then restart button. And then here you have to choose the options. Okay, while choosing, make sure you select a planned option. Don't choose unplanned option. Okay, we can choose like this application maintenance planned and you can click continue, automatically it will be rebooted, guys. This is how we will reboot the server. Okay, clear, guys? Now, once you open the setup file, it will open an installation center. What is this, guys? Installation center. So what it will have? It will have a lot of things about the SQL Server. It will have some documentation part, hardware and software. See, whatever hardware and software requirements we discussed, those are all the main hardware and software requirements. You'll have more hardware and software requirements. To see the list of all the list of hardware and software requirements, you can click on this. To install SQL Server 2019, what kind of hardware and software requirements we need, you can click on this, you'll get a report. Lot of things will be there. But again, in the organization also, when you go for the interviews also, you have to highlight the important peripherals only, like CPU, RAM, hardware requirements, software requirements. So whatever important we have highlighted yesterday, we discussed, that is enough. If you still wants to see, you can just go and check the hardware and software requirements. So this is called page. Okay, the left side section, whatever you can see, this is called a page. Planning page, installation page, maintenance page, tools page, resources page, advanced page, and options page. The left side section, these are all the different pages. Planning page, you can see the documentation, mostly the documentation. Security documentation, release notes, system checker, download migration assistant. This is different, okay? And these are all different things that you can see. In this SQL Server software setup file, you will have multiple tools. But we are going to use this only for installation. Lot of options also will be there. And now go to installation page. Okay, now here you can see the options. Guys, don't worry. Most of the options will be covered throughout the course. It's not like one day we will discuss all the things. As per the topic, I'll cover the options. Whatever options are there here, I'm going to cover the options as per the topic. So first we need the installation. Okay, so select the installation page, and then here you can see different options are there. While installing, you can see different options are there. The first option is new SQL Server standalone installation or add features to the existing installation. One is new SQL Server standalone installation or add features to an existing installation. So next is reporting services, and then next is management tools, and then next is data tools, and then we have different options. Those are all the grade out, and then upgrade. If you want to upgrade from previous version, like upgradation, we'll use this option. New machine learning server. This and all we don't need. Machine learning is an extra feature. If you want, you can install like machine learning and all, but generally no customer will ask, okay, to install machine learning and all. So now the main focus is on this option, new SQL Server standalone installation. So here you can see one new word called standalone. What is this standalone, guys? What is meant by standalone? There are two types of installations. One is standalone installation. Second one is cluster installation. Now tell me, guys, what is standalone? What is standalone building?
Independent.
Very good. Standalone building. You can see sometimes standalone building means a single building where there is in that area there are no buildings, only one building is there. That is called standalone building, independent kind of thing. So standalone means the same thing. Standalone installation means installing SQL Server on one Windows machine is called standalone. Installing SQL Server on a single Windows machine is called standalone installation. Then cluster installation. Tell me, guys, you can guess the answer opposite to this. Standalone means a single Windows machine. Cluster installation means
Group.
very good, very good. Installing SQL Server on group of machines is called cluster installation. So this will be discussed in the HADR concepts. So you don't worry. So if you install one SQL Server in one Windows machine, that is a standalone installation. If you are installing one SQL Server in multiple Windows machines, there is a feasibility. One SQL Server you can install on multiple Windows machines. That is called group. Okay, cluster is nothing but what, guys? Group of resources doing a common task. So if you are installing a single instance on multiple servers, is called cluster installation. So now let's focus on standalone. This is basic standalone installation. In the organization, we'll do both. In the organization, mostly we'll do standalone. If cluster is there, they will ask us to do cluster installation. That doesn't mean they should have cluster. Some organizations will have cluster, some organizations will not have cluster. So important one is standalone is mandatory. You should know the standalone installation. Cluster installation is also very important, but few organizations might use that feature, few organizations might not use that feature. Okay. So now what we have to do? Yes, please. Okay. So now let's go to this server and click on. Now which option I have to choose? Which option I have to choose?
First option.
First option. Okay, you can see here cluster installation, new SQL Server failure cluster installation. It was grayed out because we don't have that environment till now. So that's why this option is grayed out. Once we set up that kind of environment, this option will be enabled like this, a blue color text will come. As we don't have cluster setup till now, so that is why it is showing a grayed out button. Okay, fine. So click on this new SQL Server standalone installation. Right, okay. So developer edition, guys, go to next. As I said, editions. You remember, guys, we have different editions in the SQL Server. We have different editions in the SQL Server. So we have Express edition, we have Evaluation edition, we have
Developer edition,
Developer edition, we have
standard edition,
Standard edition.
Enterprise edition.
Very
enterprise
good.
edition.
Very good, guys. Okay. So generally in the, as this is a, if it is a non-prod, which edition is best to install SQL Server? If it is a non-prod server,
Developer
SQL
edition.
is best.
Developer.
Developer is always good. Developer is completely free. Okay. Developer is completely free. It's always good to install a developer edition, guys. It is always good to install a developer edition on the non-production environment. Okay. If it is a production environment, it is a production
Enterprise or
environment,
motion?
Enterprise.
standard or enterprise, anything you go. Standard or enterprise. Generally, you can see these two only. No other editions you can see on the production, guys. But installation is same. If even though it is a developer edition or even though it's a production, if it is a production instance, Shanmukh, how to install? Very simple. If it is a developer edition or if it is a free edition, you want to see, specify a free edition. It itself is stating that specify a free edition. If you click on this, you can see all three free editions. Express edition is free, but there are limitations. What are those limitations? With the Express edition, what are those limitations?
Agent, I think you told.
Very good. Agent is not there
Not
for the
supported.
automation. The database size should not be more than more than
10 GB.
10 GB. Okay, it cannot support more than 10 GB databases. And evaluation edition, it will be free for 180 days, and after that it will not work, and again you have to install. Developer edition is completely free, no limitations, nothing. Developer edition is equals to enterprise edition, but as it is completely free, you are allowed to install only in the non-prod environments, test stage, dev, UAT, QA, only in the non-prod environments. Okay, you will have feasibility to install the free edition. In the production environments, you cannot install free edition, so you have to go for a paid edition. Okay, so I'm selecting developer edition. If you are trying to install an enterprise edition, very simple, you will get the key, we will maintain the keys in a separate portal called Key Vault. The organization will maintain a separate platform to maintain all software related, application related keys and all. That is called Key Vault. So from the Key Vault, you can get the key. You will have access. You can get the key. You have to simply select this, enter the product key. You have to enter the product key here, and then okay, you can go ahead. This is how we'll install standard or enterprise. Remaining all options are same. Only in the beginning, it will ask you to choose a free edition or a particular paid edition. If it is a free edition, no need to give any key. It's a paid edition, you have to give the key. So this key will be managed internally in the organization. So once you're in the organization, you can check with the colleagues where the keys and all will be stored. So they will ask you, they will help you to get the keys, guys. Okay. So I'm selecting the specified free edition, which is developer edition. Next.
In a real environment, Shanu, what did you do? Like you installed a development station mode or you installed a enterprise when in a professional environment?
We install both, Imran. For
Both.
production servers, we'll install enterprise or standard, and for non-production, because there will be no separate team for production, there will be no separate team for non-production. 99% particular DBA has to take care of both production and non-production. So if application team is having a production requirement, we'll install production edition, production this one copy. If application requirement is a non-prod, if they are asking us to install a non-prod SQL server, I mean to say they are asking us to install SQL server on the non-prod servers, we'll choose developer edition. So both. So after that, next guys, next after going to next, then it will ask you to accept the license terms. You will simply choose I accept the license terms and then go to next. And then now see, these are called global rules. I said right, it will check whether this system is suitable to install the SQL server or not. It will check first. Someone joined with the name of N. Who is that N? N. Please let me know your name. I'll rename it for you.
Bhargav.
Bhargav. Bhargav,
Yes.
do you have my number?
Yeah.
Just ping me in the WhatsApp once.
Yeah. Okay.
So Bhargav, is this your first class?
Yeah. Yes. I have and I have some work on the last session. I
Okay.
haven't joined.
Okay, fine. No issues. No issues. Okay, let me rename it for you. And rename Bhargav. Okay, done. Thank you. Fine. Okay. So as I said earlier, so it will go and check some global rules. Okay, it will check whether the machine, the infrastructure, the platform is suitable to install SQL Server or not. It will first check the platform. So it will have its own checks. So you see here, I told you one point, restart computer. If you restart the computer before installation, this check will be successful. If you don't restart, if it requires a restart, this check will be failed. What will happen, Shanmukh, if any of the check is failed? Total 8 checks are there. 8 are passed. Remember one thing, not only in this screen, in future also, you will have some rules. See, wherever you see rules, these are the checks will run. So it will verify whether you are following the status, particular strategy or not, whether you are following the particular things or required things you are following or not. It will check, it will go and check. So remember, whenever you see the rules, global rules or any kind of rules, either all should be passed or warning or skipped. Any three is fine. Either passed or warning or skipped. A check can be in passed state, a check can be in the warning state, a check can be in the skipped state, no issues. But if it is failed, even one check is also failed, it will not allow you to proceed, guys. Because you have to satisfy, you have to means the machine has to satisfy all the rules. Once it found that all the rules are satisfied, either it can be warning, it can be skipped, but it has to satisfy. Directly if the check is failed, imagine the restart computer check is failed. What is the solution here now? Tell me. The restart computer check is failed. What is the solution?
Restart the
You have to
computer.
restart, that's it. You have to cancel this setup. You have to go for a restart and then you have to come back and you have to, okay, again open the setup file and again follow the same process. But in between, if you cancel it again, it will be difficult, right? So that is the reason it's always good to restart the virtual machine before installing the SQL Server and after installing the SQL Server also. Yes, Madhavi, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, good. Fine. Are we good, guys? So all checks are passed. So like this, okay, you can say 99% only restart check will be failed. So I mean to say 99% it will not fail, but 99% only there is a chance to fail the restart computer check. So you can directly simply go ahead and you can restart the particular server so that again you will open setup file and you will go to this screen. So go to next now. This is your Microsoft update. Like every products will have an update, right? So you want me to install with the updates. Generally, if SQL Server is a software, periodically Microsoft will release updates to the SQL Server to overcome the bugs, to overcome the security vulnerabilities, to overcome the hackers attacks and all, okay, virus attacks and all. So Microsoft will keep releasing the updates. But what we have to do here? Here, if you choose this option, it will go for the update. Means it will install SQL Server. On top of that, if any updates are there, it will install. But what is the possible case? The server should have internet connection. So if the server doesn't have internet connection, this will be failed. In the organization, guys, servers will not be exposed to internet. In the organization, servers will not be exposed to internet. They will be connected in the intranet. Internet, intranet. What is the difference?
Within the organization.
Very good. Within the network is called intranet. Directly to the public is called internet. So if the server is connected to the internet, there is a chance of lot of virus attacks. Servers can hack easily. They can steal the data. They can corrupt the files. They can create lot of issues. That's why servers will not have internet connection. So we don't need to check. If you don't have internet connection, how it will install the updates? How you can install the app if you turned off mobile data or Wi-Fi? You cannot, write. In the same way, you can skip this. Shanmukh, then if there are no updates, how it will be difficult, right? There is another way of applying the updates that is called patching. So in the patching session, we'll be discussing how to apply the updates, and also remember this can be skipped. Microsoft update can be skipped. Okay, go to next. Once you skipped, it will tell you like this: SQL Server setup could not search for the updates through the Windows Update Service. You can either check again or click next to continue to troubleshoot issues. So it is saying, bro, you skipped me. So I'm not able to find out the, I'm not able to find out the updates to install. So whether you want me to go to next, like that, okay. Uh, it is just highlighting, guys. So this is a kind of error, but this can be product updates, can be dash. This can be dash. Ignored. Okay, this can be ignored. So go to next directly. So it is installing some setup files. It is going to install some setup files, guys. So whatever it carries from the package, your SQL Server setup file package, from that it is trying to install some setup files now. It is creating the ground to install the SQL Server.
Sir, one more time, sir.
It is just preparing the ground. It is installing the setup files. Okay, whatever setup files are there, that we will get it from the SQL Server software. It is dumping those setup files to proceed for the installation. Right. So now you can see again it will open. Guys, I have a quick question for all of you. So I'm installing a SQL Server. Okay, I'm installing SQL Server. Currently, it is in progress. Parallelly, can I install one more SQL Server on the same machine? Just guess it. I need answers yes or no. Just try.
Yes.
If you don't know, no problem. You can use Inky, Pinky, Ponky, Akpak, Karvepak, any option you can choose. Okay? Just I need response.
Yes.
That's it. Type your
Yes,
answers
right.
in the chat. Type your answers in the
Sir,
chat.
as I think as
Type your answers in the chat.
What is the question again?
Whatever is your answer, just type in the chat. I need a response. Very good, guys. Okay. Nice. Got the response almost from all. Okay. Okay, fine. So Gopi, yes. Preeti, yes. Simran, yes. Maybe two different SQL servers. Madhavi, no. Swarna, no. Hariharan, yes. And Paddo, yes. Yes. And Ajit, yes. Bhargav, yes. Arshi, yes. Om, no. Vijay, no. Shravan, no. Madhu, no. Arsh, yes. And Ram, yes. Okay, fine. So now you tell me the answer. Okay. Now, if you want to change your answer, you can still change the answer. Now you tell me the answer. I'm just
sir,
giving
the
a hint. Yeah, Madhu, please.
installation center is only one, right, sir, which is occupied by the current installation.
Hmm.
That is the reason.
You can still, okay, fine, Madhu. So you can still, if you want to change your answer, you can change the answer. I gave you the hint on the screen and you can try. If you want, you can change the answers. If you want to change the answer, yes or no, again, you can just type your answers in the chat. I gave you the hint. Now you can see the answer on the screen itself, whether it is possible or not possible. If you want, you can change the answers now. If you are not changing means you are sticking to your old answer. But you can see the answer on the screen itself, whether it is possible or not possible. You don't want to change? Sorry. Imran, no. Pardo, no. Ram, no. Okay. Preeti, unsure. Right. Okay. Very good. So now you see here, where is the answer, Shanmukh? You are saying answer is there on the screen. See, it was grayed out. It was grayed out. It should be a blue color, then only I can proceed. As installation center is opened here, until you close this setup file, it will not be blue color again. What it means, one installation at a time on the same machine. On the same machine, one SQL Server installation with one setup file at a time. Okay, are you good, guys? Now how to identify? You can see here this was grayed out. Once I closed this, either cancelled or installed, whatever it is. If I cancel this in between, or if I successfully install, this window will be closed. Once this window is closed, then only it will be highlighted again. So at a time, one version, one SQL instance we can install. Multiple versions parallelly you can do, but one version at a time on one Windows machine you can install only once. Okay, you cannot install parallelly multiple instances and all. Right. So now go to next. So now it is asking you to select the features. Bro, SQL Server means lot of features in my package. Which feature you want? What is your requirement? I can be used to store the data, to process the data, to retrieve the data. I can also be used to analyze the data. I can also be used to report the data. I can also be used to integrate the data. Okay, which feature you want? So it is asking now, that is called feature selection screen. That is called feature selection screen. You have to select the features. Remember now, there are two types of features. Okay, two types of features. One is specific features, two types of one is specific features, second one is, can you guess? Starts with S, next H.
Shared features.
Very good. Okay, shared features. One is specific features, second one is shared features, guys. So what is the specific feature, what is the shared feature? Okay, specific feature, shared features. So let's go with the example. For example, if you are staying in PG, correct? If you are staying in PG, there are few specific things that you will carry, and there will be few shared things also will be there in the PG, correct? Tell me, guys, what are the shared things will be there in the PG? What shared things you will use in the PG generally?
Washing machine.
Very good. Washing
Wi-Fi.
machine, Wi-Fi. Next,
TV or something.
TV.
Furniture.
Yeah, furniture, TV,
Kitchen
fan,
items.
kitchen items. Okay, water cooler, whatever it is. These are all shared features. So shared features will be installed how many times, guys? For every new person, they will install one fan. For every new person, they will install one AC. For every new person, they will install one TV. Is it going to work like that? No, right?
Only once.
Only once. Once you set up the shared features, Wi-Fi will be installed as a shared feature so that everyone in that particular. Sorry, 1 minute. 1 minute, guys. Right, right. No issues, no issues. I'm muted. So now, is that okay now? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So we have, like as I said in the PG. So once the Wi-Fi is installed, if any new person comes, means again they don't install a separate Wi-Fi. So that is fixed. Okay. So that means what I mean to say is shared features will be installed once. Agreed or not? Everyone.
Yes.
Shared features will
Yes.
be installed once. Specific features, you will have your own phone, you will have your own laptop, you will have your own peripherals like whatever cloths and all, and your own, okay, the things, utensils and all like plate, glass, whatever it is. So these are all specific things. Every new person will carry these things, correct? So in the same way, we have two features in this, two types of features in this, okay, feature selection screen. So this part, whatever you can see up to analysis services, this part is a specific features. And if you go down below, you can see shared features, okay? You can see this part is shared feature. What it means? That means only once will install SQL Server. So Shanmukh, the instance also we are using only once, right? We are installing only once, right? What is the big deal here? Now, tell me one thing. How many SQL copies I can install in one Windows machine? You should get this doubt right. So Shanmukh, you are installing one SQL copy now. One SQL copy
One.
is called one SQL instance. Guys, from this point onwards, I'll introduce one word called instance. What is that? SQL instance. As a DBA, we'll call it as a SQL instances. SQL instance. So now I'm installing one copy of SQL Server. Is called one SQL instance. Like that, how many SQL Server copies I can install in one Windows machine? How many SQL copies I can install in one Windows machine? Is it only one or multiple copies I can install?
Multiple copies.
So multiple,
Multiple copies.
how many copies? Okay, we can install 49 plus 1 instances. Instance means again a SQL Server, guys. Okay, a SQL Server software copy is called one instance. Instances on one Windows machine. Okay, we can, that doesn't mean we will. We can install. Microsoft is giving feasibility of installing up to dash. How many instances? Total 50 instances. We can install total 50 instances in one Windows machine. Okay, but generally in the organization, people will install one or two, sometimes three, rarely four. Okay, clear, guys? The recommended one is one instance per one machine, but sometimes people also, to save the money, they will install 2-3 copies also in the Windows machine. So like that, how many copies they can install, guys? Like that, they can install 50 copies. Out of 50, one is default instance, second remaining all 49 are named instances. So in the coming screen, we'll discuss about this default and named instance. What is the difference between these two? So we'll be discussed, guys. Okay. So we can install multiple copies up to 50 in a Windows machine. That means this is a PG, the server you can see now. This is a PG. In this PG, I can accommodate up to 50 people. Clear, guys? Is it clear? Imagine this is a PG. Okay. This is actually not a PG. Okay. This is just imagine like a PG. And in this PG, I can accommodate up to 50 students or 50 people. So every time I have to choose specific features when a new person is coming. But for the first time only, I will choose shared features. For the next installation, do I need to choose shared features, guys? For the second installation, do we need to choose shared features? Because as I said, shared features will be installed only once. So that will be used by all the other instances. Correct? Is it clear, guys, everyone? Specific features, shared features, are we good?
Yes.
Okay. So now for one copy I'm installing, remember these three features. Database engine is very important. The data processing, storing, retrieving will be done by the database engine only. This is the car engine kind of thing for SQL Server. If there is no database engine, there is no SQL Server. This is the very important and main component in the SQL Server. So you have to install this database engine.
Here, I have a note here.
Yes, tell me.
As for the client return, you can select.
Correct.
You can select only SQL
Correct.
database.
Correct. I'll tell you. I'm going to add one more point here.
Okay.
So Shanmukh, you are saying some recommended components you are saying to install. But imagine if application team is having a specific requirement. If they are looking for some extra features like data quality services, they are looking for some R or Python. In that scenario, how we'll get to know? How we will get to know? The organizations will follow one sheet called build sheet. What is this, guys? Build sheet. Build sheet means what? Application team will specify all the details, including instance name, features to be selected, and whatever inputs, some configuration side. I'll tell you the configurations like collation settings and all, some settings related collation settings. Okay, default are named. Everything will be included in the build sheet. So when you are installing SQL Server, first check build sheet is there or not. You cannot directly, Shanmukh said we have to select these features, so I'll also select these features. 90% that is fine. But what if application team is having a specific requirements that you don't know, right? Application team will not come to you and they will not tell you in your ear. Okay, so there should be a procedure for the auditing purpose and all. So they will attach build sheet in the ticket. This build sheet contains all the inputs. This is a standard way. That doesn't mean every organization will follow build sheet. Some organizations will not follow. They will simply include everything in the ticket itself. So check the ticket or build sheet whether you have all the components or whether you have all the inputs to proceed to the installation of SQL Server, guys. Are we good now? Everyone, guys? Which components you have to choose, it will include in the build sheet. Which features you have to choose and all, they will include in the build sheet, guys. So now go to the server. Now, if they didn't give anything, by default, you can install these components. One is database engine is mandatory, important, like a car engine to the SQL Server. Without database engine, SQL Server will not run. And then is replication. Replication is an object level feature, and the HADR will discuss about the replication. So install replication also. Then full text will help you to search the data. Full text semantic extraction for search. So to search the data and all, we need this component also. These three are main components. Okay, what are those? Specific features. Specific components. One is database engine. Second one is replication. Third one is full text. Okay, these three are mandatory components that you will choose if they don't include anything in the build sheet or in the ticket. These three are mandatory, right? From specific features. From shared features, or you can just add components. Shared features, specific features you can tell. Shared components, specific components also you can tell. Anything is fine. So from shared components, we are going to choose not all, okay, only few things. Wherever it is showing client, you have to choose those. Client means client tools. Client tools connectivity, client tools backward compatibility, client tools SDK, SQL client connectivity SDK. These four are common shared features that we will install. Okay, client tools connectivity. Guys, I gave you the access to these notes to everyone. Just cross check, go to your Google Drive, click on shared with me. You can see these notes, batch 58 running notes, B58 running notes. You can see this is an online document. It will be updated in the online now also you can see. Okay. Client tools backward compatibility. I'll also give separate notes for each component, each topic. This is a running notes kind of thing. If you want to add anything to this, I didn't give editor permissions to you. I just gave your permissions. You can view. If you want to edit something while practicing, create your own document, copy paste all the things and add whatever things you want. I don't want to give extra edit permissions because sometimes I experienced that people use it to delete the data unknowingly. Wantedly they will not do. Unknowingly they will select and okay, they will be the data and all will be deleted. That is the reason I didn't give editor permission. I'll give just your permissions. You can see here. Okay, you can now also you can check. You can go to Google Drive and you can click on shared with me. You can see these notes, B58 running notes. Client tools backward compatibility. Client tools SDK. SQL client connectivity SDK. Okay, SDK means what? What is meant by SDK?
Software development kit.
Correct, software development kit. Fine. Go to this. Now we are good. We have selected specific components. We have selected shared components. This is for the first time. Second time, if you are trying to install, I'll show you that also. I'll show you. In this screen, these 4 options will be grayed out because you have already installed first time. So second time it will not allow you to install because they are already installed, shared components. No need to install multiple times, only once, first time. Okay. Now, where you are going to store these files? Generally keep it C drive only. These are just binaries will be created, not actual data files and all. So keep these paths as it is. Now see, as per your features, it needs 1736 MB required. How much you have, guys? How much you have? Convert it into GB.
14 GB.
14 GB. Okay, roughly 14 GB. So you need 1700 MB, but you have 14 GB. Are we good, guys? Space requirements. Before installation of SQL Server, you also have to check the space. Proper free space is there or not. This is pre-checklist. Okay, proper free space is there or not in the particular drives. Fine. Let me go to this. One more pre-checklist we have added. What is that, guys? Reboot. Okay. Pre-checklist. So one thing I'll add here because if I'm showing and if I'm adding, it will be relatable. Suddenly, if I tell like we need for some free space, you don't know where this free space will be used. Okay, so while discussing, we'll add one point. Okay, and what is the second thing, right? Make sure to have enough free space in the drives. Okay, make sure to have enough free space in the drives. Fine. So now we are good, and we can go to next. Is this a laptop taskbar or server taskbar? Tell me.
Server.
Laptop.
Laptop.
Okay, if you see Zoom and all, I didn't install Zoom in the server, right? Zoom. Okay, Notepad, OneNote, Google Chrome. These are all my laptop. So where is my server taskbar then? How to get the server taskbar? For you also, you will experience like this. Just keep your cursor here. Just hover over the cursor. Sometimes you'll get it. Or select your laptop taskbar and just click little about to the server taskbar. Okay, you will get it. This is your server taskbar. Right now, default instance, as I said, named instance. I have a quick question for all of you. Just try to respond. Okay, I need an interaction. That's it. Suddenly, by mistake, I have selected to choose one feature here. By mistake, I missed to choose one feature here. Okay, that feature didn't install. Installation is successful, but I missed that feature. Can I install the same feature again? Oh, I don't want to this feature.
Yes.
Can I install
Yes,
next
there must be the upgradation.
upgradation activity we have to do?
In the installation
Uh,
center, it was showing, right, sir, add feature or standalone installation. So if you run the setup again.
Very good. Very good. Okay, if you see here, that is the meaning of the big option. New SQL Server standalone installation or dash add features to the existing installation. So if we miss something during the installation and later we identified, oh, I missed this component to install, you can again open the same setup file. You can go to the same page. You can click on this option. You can go to next to the same feature selection screen, and then you can choose whatever feature you want. That you can do after installation also. Okay.
Sir, both the features, right, sir? Shade
Both,
and
both. Any feature. Right. Now you can see on the screen there are two types of instances. One is default instance, second one is named instance. What are the differences between default and named? There are two types of instances. Guys, there are two types of installations, two types of instances. See, installations. See, standalone installation, cluster installation. But this is two types of instances. Okay, don't get confused here. There are two types of instances. What are those two types, guys? Default instance and named instance. So what is the difference between these two, Shanmukh? Which one I have to choose? Again, this also will be included in the build sheet. Okay, in the build sheet, Okay, it will be included. Application team will tell you whether they need default or named instance. 90% default instance only will install. But Shanmukh, what is the difference? Is there any difference deal between these two? Not at all. There is no big difference between these two. There is no difference between these two. Then Shanmukh, why two? Only one is enough, right? Right. So default instance, while connecting to the server, it will take the computer name. It will take the computer name. Okay, while connecting to the instance in the management studio, it will take the computer name. So no need to give SQL Server name separately. Whatever computer name is there, the computer name is this one, right? Win60AIJGLSSKN. So the same name will be tagged to the SQL Server also. Once SQL installation is done, as we can install multiple copies in the same machine, so how you will identify each copy? With the help of name only, right? So which name you will give? That is called default instance or named instance. Default instance means no need to give any name. It will take computer name. Boss, I don't want any name. I'll use the computer name, whatever computer name is there. I will use it. Don't give any name. So you cannot give any name to the default instance because it will use the existing computer name, machine name. Then the second one is named instance. So named instance means you have to give the instance name. You have to give the instance name. You have to give the instance name. So while naming, we'll have different naming conventions, right? So what are the naming conventions we have? It's not like anything you can give. Shanmukh, I can give Katrina Kaif. You can give Katrina Kaif also, Deepika Padukone also, no issues. But
Application name
you
as
have
you
to
said.
follow, you have to follow some standards. You have to follow some standards. It will not block you. You can give any name, but you have to follow some standards. What are those standards, Shanmukh? It should starts with a instance name, should starts with character only. You cannot start one SQL Server, two SQL Server and all. It should start with character. Okay, the name should start with the character. First naming convention, first rule. Okay, and the second rule is it will accept up to 16 characters. It will accept up to 16 characters in the name. Second rule. Third rule is it will allow only two special characters. Dollar and underscore. In the instance name, you can add either dollar or you can add underscore also, or you can add both also. But is it good name, guys? Dollar SQL 2019. Now tell me your answer. Dollar SQL 2019. Type your answers in the chat, please. I want to see. Is it a correct name that I can give for the named instance? Type your answers in the chat. Yes or no? Quickly. We don't have time. We'll go for a break. Very good, guys. You all are very active. Good. And one suggestion to everyone is don't send it to public. Okay? Don't send it to public. So send it to private, direct message to me. If you click on my name, you can directly send to the public message. Okay? Sorry, private message to me so that I can see. If you send it to public means everyone can see. Now that is not an issue, but next time when you're answering, okay, if you send it to the public, others can see and other can also repeat. So they will not try to recollect the things and all. Fine, I'm happy, guys. All said like no. Okay, no one said yes. Very good. Because why? What is the reason? Because As I said, it should starts with a character. So it will accept dollar, but you cannot start the instance name with a dollar. Okay, you have to give the dollar anywhere after first character. It should starts with character. So you can give dollar at any place, guys. Okay, so like this you can give. So these are all the three main rules that you have to keep in mind while naming the servers. And again, Shanmukh will name the servers in the organization. Your application team will help you in naming the servers. If they are asking, sometimes if they are not asking anything, hey, you only give some name. Okay, like that. If they are saying something, then you have to follow these standards. You have to follow these standards, guys. You have to, as I said, you have to follow these standards, and even in your practice also, you have to follow these standards. And tell me, guys, is this the correct name? SQL Server 2019. Tell me now. No need to type. Just tell me.
Space is there, wrongs.
Oh, sir.
What about others? Is it a correct name or no? It's not a valid
No,
name.
it is not correct.
It's an invalid.
Okay, very good. Okay, correct, because space is there. Space is also a special character. Okay, space is also a special character. So that is the reason you can either include dollar or underscore, or you can just, without giving space, you can just go ahead and you can install, guys. Now, as I said, we can install 50 instances, that to 49 plus 1. So how many named instances, how many default instances I can install, guys? That will be continued after the break. Okay, take a break, come back after 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes roughly, and then we can go ahead and we'll discuss the other things, guys. Okay, we'll be back in 10 minutes, guys.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So Imran, like you're asking, I don't understand instances actually. I understand that you can install one copy at the time, but when you say instances, you mean different copies with different names. Correct. Correct, Imran. Okay. So this is very normal. Okay. So if you are installing multiple copies means, as I said, this point I have already explained. So as we are installing multiple copies, as it is multiple copies, it is going to exist as a multiple copies. So to connect to a specific copy, we should have a name, right? So each instance will have a separate name. So that either you will give or your application team will give the name. So based on that, you are going to name the instance.
It's going to be the same server actually, same server.
See, if it is same only, this kind of issue will come. So if it is a different server,
There's no problem here.
yeah.
No problem. Okay. Okay.
Okay, guys. Okay, so let me go back to this. As I said, default instance, named instance, functionality wise, both are same. There is no difference between a default and named. It's not a mandatory thing that the first time I have to install default only, then next time named, or first time I have to install named only, then next time default, or minimum one default should be there, minimum one named should be there. Nothing, no rules, nothing. First installation can be a default instance or it can be a named instance also. It's not mandatory to install a default instance. Only difference is if you choose default instance, it will not ask you any name for the instance name. Okay, if you choose default instance, no need to give instance name, because then without instance name, how we can connect Shanmukh? Because what is the reason here? If it's a default instance, what will happen? Why we
It is taking the name as you said.
computer name?
Name of the
It take computer name, so that's why no need to give explicitly a separate name. It will take the computer name. So to connect to the default instance in the management studio, you have to give the computer name. I'll show you. If it is a named instance, as I said, you have to follow the rules. Whatever main rules are there, you have to follow the main rules. And then you have to follow the standards, and then you can go ahead and you can give the name. So only one default instance I can install. Remaining 49, total 50 I can install. Out of 50, one default, remaining 49 are named. Why only one default instance I can install? Why only one default instance I can install in the Windows machine?
Sir, we can have any, what do you say, one server with this one name, right, sir?
So why, guys, what is the reason? Why we can install only one default instance? Why not 2, 3 default instances? You can,
There is
you can
only
tell the answer. You can guess the
The
answer.
name will be overlapping, right?
There will be more
Overlapping.
overlapping. Okay, okay, overlapping. Okay, good, good. Okay, so now, Sneha, Sneha, Sneha.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, see, guys.
Yes, sir.
See, now you see in the participant section, when I call Sneha, we have two Snehas in the meeting. Okay, so what is the worst case? First case is worst case, like two are not responding. One Sneha is thinking that maybe I am calling the other Sneha, and another Sneha is thinking maybe I am calling another Sneha. Worst case is both will not respond. What is the best case? Both will respond. Now in this scenario, both responded. So imagine if I have two default instances. If two are taking computer name, when I am connecting to one default instance, to which default instance it will connect? With the same name, I have two instances. When I am trying to connect to a default instance, I'll give computer name. So if I can install multiple default instances, to which default instance I can connect, as it is already sharing the computer name. Are you getting the point now, guys? Is it clear, everyone? So that is the reason. Okay, only one default instance, because computer name cannot be shared. Computer name cannot be shared. So once it was allocated to one default instance, you cannot use the computer name again to allocate to another default instance. Are we good, guys, about default instance? Why we have only one default instance? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Right? So this is how it will work. So named instance, you can give any name. Okay, while giving the name, you can follow the rules. But again, okay, while connecting in the SSMS, I'll tell you little extension will be there for the named instance. Default instance, you can simply give computer name and you can connect. Named instance, you have to give instance name plus one more you have to give. That will be discussed during the connecting in the management studio in the next session. As of now, in this machine till now, I didn't install anything. You can see installed instances. This is blank. As of now, nothing. Next, once the installation is successful, next time if I open the same setup file, I can see one installation here. So till now I didn't install anything, so it is showing blank. Installed instances is blank now. So go to next. Now I have a quick question for all of you, if it is clear. I installed a default instance. Now I want to convert this into named instance. Is it possible or not? Just guess it, no problem. Guess it, guys. Can I convert a default to named or named to default after installation? Guess, guess. Guess means inky pinky ponky we have, right?
the name already has been given, so I don't think we can change it because it's already picked up the name from the default
Okay.
the default name of the computer or machine.
Okay.
Unless this
One default instance. So you know.
That's okay. One default instance only. I installed only one default instance. Now I want to convert the default into named.
If you change it to named instance, then we have to uh, make one default instance again.
We have to make, sorry, Himanshu, we have to make.
Default instance. We need the default instance, huh?
Why? Is there any difference between default
For
and named?
system.
I'm asking that is it mandatory to have a default instance?
Yes.
Are you sure, Himanshu?
I'm just guessing.
Your voice is little breaking. You can type your answer in the chat.
I'm guessing it.
I cannot understand, Devanshu. Your voice is breaking totally. Type your answer in the chat. Okay, guys, what about other responses? You don't know Inky Pinky Ponky?
I guess we can change it, I guess.
We can change.
To instance. To instance, yeah. A default instance.
Okay.
Mine is no.
Okay.
Maybe that if we configure default instance means maybe not able to configure to name the instance once we configure it.
See, you cannot tell like that. See, you cannot convert like that. You can tell. You cannot. Once you configure default instance means you cannot configure named instance means. Then what about remaining 49 instances? Correct. Then we can
Yes.
install only one instance in the one machine, right?
Yes, but once the installation we can give default instance name instance means at the time that
Right.
config will happen.
Correct. Okay. So the answer is no, we cannot change from default to named or name it to default. Once you install the default, it's a default only. If you don't want, you have to uninstall and you have to install a named instance. In the same way, if you install a named instance, if you want to change it to default instance, that is not possible. So default to named, name it to default is not possible, guys. Okay. Clear?
Yeah, actually, clear.
Yeah. Fine. So now this is very important. Okay. This is called service account. After this, 2, 3 small things will be there. We are almost okay. Almost at the end of the installation, guys. Okay. Let me explain this. This is major concept service account. So what is the service account? Service account. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. So what it means? Now, imagine this is your Windows machine. Imagine this is your SQL server. Imagine an application is connected to the SQL server. SQL server in the sense a database. Okay. Imagine this is Amazon.in. Okay, this is Amazon.in. Now imagine users are connected to this Amazon.in. They are doing some shopping. This is your application. The user is connected. Imagine Om is connected to the application Amazon.in. He is ordering something. Some iPhone is ordering. So when he is ordering, what it will do? It will create a record and it will store in the database. Database means where exactly it is. Database means where exactly? A disk. Correct? Database means database is a virtual form, but physically where it will store? Physically?
Drive.
Yes. It will be stored permanently in the drive. Correct? Permanently it will be stored in the drive. But who will write this data to the drive? Who will write the data to the drive? Which person is responsible for this? Which person? Can you guess?
Database team.
Your service account. Very simple. That's it. That's it, guys. That is your service account. whatever you are doing, any transactions that you are doing, it will generate a record, it will send it to the database. It will write the data to the database. Database means what? Database is a logical form. Physically, the data will be stored in the drive. For example, imagine insert into, like this kind of query it will run. Orders table, insert into, this is a query, guys, SQL query. I am just writing on SQL query, simple SQL query I am writing. Orders table, insert into table name I have to give. Insert into, my table name is orders. Values, something like customer is Om, customer ID is something like this. Okay, customer ID, customer name is Om, customer location from Hyderabad, comma, customer is trying to order iPhone 16, comma, okay, he wants some black color, comma, address is something like this. Okay, maybe Nadapur, something like this, Hyderabad, something, Telangana. Right. Okay. So now when Om is ordering an item, he placed an item, then this kind of record, I'm not saying this kind of record will be generated from the application. It will go to the database. Database means where exactly it will store. The database in the backend, it will be stored in a drive, right? So this data, whatever this transaction, this is called a transaction. This transaction has to be written to the disk, right? Who will write that data to the disk? Who will write?
Service account.
Service account.
So service account is responsible to read the data from the disk, to write the data to the disk, guys. Are you getting now? When Om is connected, when Om is trying to access the application, when Om wants to see the data, Om will connect to particular Amazon.in, and Om wants to see what and all iPhones are there. So first, what service account will do? Service account will help you to read the data from the disk, and it is presenting to the Om. And when Om orders something, it will write the data to the disk. So service account will read and write the data to the disk and from the disk, guys. That is all about the service account. Shanmukh, how service account is useful? Now you know the importance of the service account, guys. Is it clear, everyone? How the service account will work? Is it clear? So do you think everyone can enter into the disk to write the data? Tell me. Do you think everyone can enter into the disk to write the data? No.
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 He should have what permissions? Guess it.
Admin access.
Huh?
Admin access, like admin privilege access.
Administrator privileges. So service account should be an administrator. Generally, we don't recognize that every Windows machine, whenever you are installing anything, every Windows machine will work like this only. If you open services.msc, you can see all the services. Guys, remember one thing, every application will install as a service in the Windows machine. Every application, if you are installing a Zoom, if you are installing a Google Chrome, if you are installing a SqlServer, if you are installing some antivirus, every application will run as a service in the backend. If the service is running, then that application will run. So in the services.msc, you can see all the installed services. You can see the service name in the first column, description, what the service will do, status of the service, whether it is running or not running or it is stopped, startup type, how it will start when you restart the virtual machine or when you restart the machine, log on as. What is this column called log on as? What is the meaning of this log on as?
Account with which it is logged into the system.
A service account.
Very good. This is called service account. Every service. See, any service, either it will read or it will write the data, right? Correct? Any service. Either we will read the data or will write the data. Imagine antivirus. What antivirus it will do? First scanning. Scanning means reading. Then if it found any vulnerabilities or if it found any virus files, what it will do? It will delete. Delete means write operation. Correct? So every application in the Windows system will run as a service. That service can read or write. The end goal will be either it will read or it will write or it will do both. So one service account will be attached to every service. The last column that you can see, local system, network service, local service, these three are default service accounts. Shanmukh, I installed Zoom, it didn't ask me any service account. Why for SQL Server it is asking me? I installed antivirus, it didn't ask me. I installed Google Chrome, it didn't ask me. Then why for SQL Server? Because unknowingly it is allocating. I mean, you don't know that, but without service account, no service will run. But Windows machine is allocating one priority service account to that service based on the priority of the service. But why, Shanmukh, it is giving feasible to us SQL Server? SQL Server is a priority copy. For application purpose, we are installing the SQL Server. So it is giving a feasibility. Bro, I have 3 service accounts. If you want, you can use it to read the data, to write the data. If you don't want, no, these 3 are already busy with some other services. I want a dedicated account. I don't want to use your existing workers. I want my own worker. I want my own maid to read and write the data. I will give my own account as a service account. That is called these service accounts. That's why it is asking you to give. If you don't give, it will take the default accounts. Is it clear, guys? Everyone, service account.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that is the use of the service account. These are the default accounts which will not ask any password. You can also give your own account, that is called a domain service account, customized service account. So that will be discussed later. So now I am installing with the default accounts. Can I change this service account to another account later after installation? Guess it now.
Yes, sir.
Guess it, guys.
Yes, sir.
Can I change my service account after the installation? Guess it. Yes or no? Guess means yes or no. Okay. No one wants to guess?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Only Madhu is guessing. What about others? 23 participants.
Yes, we can.
Okay, we can. The answer is yes, we can. We can change the service account at any time after installation or during the installation, but you have to restart the server. So which is a downtime activity. Whenever I'm mentioning you have to restart. When you restart the server means what will happen? When you restart the server means the whole machine will be restarted. Means drives will be restarted, services will be restarted. So if this is down means application can be up and running, guys? It will not.
No.
If application is not running, user can connect? No, correct? So that's why restart, when I said restart means it's a downtime activity. Remember, you cannot restart without proper approvals in the organization. Okay, you cannot restart without proper approvals in the organization. Okay, so that is the reason you can change the service account during installation. Also, you can change it. After installation, also you can change it. But after installation, you have to restart the server. During installation means no issues. Okay, right? So now I'm installing with the default accounts. These are called virtual service accounts. In the next class, going forward, I'll show you how to create a dedicated service account. How to assign a service account here. Okay, you have to simply select here, browse for more, and then you have to give the account that you created. But till now we didn't create any account, right? So that's the reason we are using the existing account only. Okay, we are using the existing account only. Okay, guys, let me go back.
What about startup? We can change the automatic, right? Like for that manual.
Sorry, that you can change. Generally, the priority softwares will have automatic. Okay, so you have to change it to automatic startup type. I'll tell you. So what is the meaning of startup type, guys? What is the meaning of startup type? Startup type means when you start the SQL Server. When you start the SQL Server, okay? How these services, whatever services after SQL Server installation, some services will be created. Okay, after SQL Server installation, some services will be created. So how these services will be managed? When you restart this Windows machine, are these services are going to be up and running with the machine? If you set it as automatic, automatically the services will be up and running. If you set it as manual, manually you have to go and start the service. So which one is good, automatic or manual?
Automatic.
Automatic is always good, okay? Right. So now go to collation settings. This is almost the last setting, guys, in the installation. This is the challenge. Anti-service. One minute. I have changed it. When I changed it, this was gone. Actually, for agent, there is a separate service account. SQL dollar agent, I guess. 1 minute. SQL Server agent default service account format. If you didn't give proper values, there is a chance that it will be failed. See here, it will show you virtual account is not a valid account, like that it is showing the error. If you remember, when I'm trying to go to collation settings, if the account is not valid, it will show you error here. Okay, now it was gone as I gave the account name. You don't worry, don't change anything here, keep it as it is. Okay, don't need to worry, guys. For agent, we'll give agent service account. For database engine, we'll give MS SQL service account. I'm trying to show you the browse option. So when I'm trying to show you the browse option, the default account is gone. Okay, so that is the reason I again copy pasted. Now go to collation settings. Now, what is this collation settings, guys? What is this collation settings?
The language.
Yes, very good. Okay. Service account, I'm just adding, we have service account will read and write. Service account will read the data from the disk and write the data to the disk. Service account should be local administrator to read and write. Okay, we have two types of service accounts. Actually, three types, but technically we'll call it as two types. Okay, default service account, default or virtual service accounts. Second one is customized service accounts. That I'll tell you later. We will discuss, guys. Don't worry. Okay. First, I'll install it the default. Next time, I'll show you how to create an account, how to change. Because you should know, right, how to change after installation. Sometimes they might ask you. So because of that, I'm installing with the default first. Later, I'll show you how to change it. Right. Now, collation settings means simply language settings, guys. Collation settings means language settings. Language settings. Okay. So now go to the server. SQL Latin. Latin, you know, right? How Sanskrit is there for us. For all English languages, Latin is the language. SQL Latin 1 general. CP1 code page 1. CI case insensitive. AS accent sensitive. Okay. Case insensitive means it will allow in any case if you insert the data lowercase or uppercase. Accent sensitive, guys. You know, right? So now if you want to change the collation settings, no, I want a Japanese language, I want a Chinese language. You can select whatever language you want. These are all the languages. Unfortunately, we don't have any Indian languages here. Maybe I'm expecting in the latest versions, at least they will include the, okay, Indian language also. Mean to say Indian, any of the Indian languages. We can see a lot of languages, small, okay. Countries language also is there, but unfortunately we don't have our language. That's okay, English, okay, by default, SQL Latin 1 general, CP1 CIA. Generally, Shanmukh, these collation settings, who will give? Who will give? Who will give? Who will give? Hmm? Who will give? Application team will include in the sheet because we are installing for them. They have to decide which language they want in the database. which language they want to use. So sometimes you can see Hindi websites, news websites, Telugu news websites. So the data that is coming from the database is a Telugu or Hindi or any local language. So in the same way, application team, sometimes if they want to design their application in the particular Chinese language, they will include Chinese language. These are all the different languages, guys. So the default is SQL Latin 1 General C1 CIAS. There is no English. English means Latin only. So this is the default. Sometimes in the interviews they will ask you what is the default collation settings for SQL Server. Okay, SQL Latin 1 General C1 CIAS. Can I change collation settings after the installation? Guess. Inky, pinky, ponky. Yes or no?
It's not possible, I guess. It's not possible.
This is the one of the question which I faced in the interview very recently. Like,
very good.
Once the installation is done properly, I mean everything is set up. Is it possible to change the collation settings?
What is your answer then in the interview?
I said yes.
What is his response?
No, that was my first interview. Recently I've given.
Okay, very good. Okay. So what is the result? Is it selected or like how?
No. I lost it in the manager round. I've gone to till manager round. I lost it. So how about this one? Is it yes or no?
Of course, I have to tell, right? Tell me, guys, is it possible to change or it is not possible to change collation settings?
Not possible to change.
After the installation. Guess. Babia.
No.
Kishore, Imran, Soli. Soli, so silent, Soli.
Yes, I'm here.
You're hearing me? Very good. Okay, fine. So the answer is not possible. Okay, direct approach is not possible. There is no direct way of changing the collation settings. Like there is no setting of collation to change from one language to another way. Direct way is not possible. Indirect way is there by changing the registry keys. By changing the registry keys means binaries you have to edit, which is risky. Okay, sometimes they will do, but there is no direct approach of changing the collation settings after the installation of SQL Server. Okay, if they want to take risk, they can change it through binaries, which is like registry keys. Through registry keys, they can change the collation settings, guys. Okay, so that is the answer. Fine. So that is
90. Shanu, it is in English all the time, isn't it? 99.9 or 100%.
No. We'll never change collation settings. Okay, they will not ask 99.99%. They will not ask you to change. Okay, so very rarely. The safest method is again we'll install one more instance with the respective collation settings, and then we'll move the data from old server to another server. If at any cost, if they are asking us to change, no, we cannot proceed at any cost. It has to change means the safest method is install one more instance with the new collation settings, move the data from old server to new server. That is the new, the safest way of changing the collation settings. Okay, fine. So now this is almost last screen, guys. So here there is a separate concept called security. In the security, I will touch it. For now, I'm installing one component. See, yesterday you remember after the Windows Server installation, we did one thing. What is that? The last what we did at the end of the Windows machine installation? What we did?
Adding administrator
and password. Why?
To manage that server, sir.
Someone should be there to log into the server. Then he can give permissions to others, correct? If no one is there after installation, if no one is able to connect, what is the use of that? Someone should be able to connect, right? Here also, I'm installing SQL Server. At least one person you have to add here to connect. So I'm adding add current user. Later you can add your DBA team, your service account. You have to add service account also here. If it's a default not required, it's a custom service account, you have to. But I'll tell you later going forward when we create domains and all, then I'll show you DBA group, service account, adding the service account and all. But remember one thing, at least one user you have to add. As I logged into this server as an administrator, so when I click on add current user, so administrator account is added. So once the installation is done, I'm able to connect to the SQL Server using administrator account, guys. And what is this Windows authentication? What is this mixed mode? How many types of authentication? What is meant by authentication? What is meant by authorization? What is meant by login? What is meant by user? What is meant by permission? How many types? How to give permissions on server level? How to give permissions on database level? How to give permissions on table level? Okay, all these things will be discussed in the security concept. Okay, guys, are we good now? At least one person should be there to connect to SQL Server. That's why I'm adding one person called add current user. If you don't add anyone, if you go to next, it will not allow you. It will ask you to add at least one person. Data directories, in which drive you are going to store the data. For now, we have only C drive in the server. So I'm dumping everything in the C drive only, guys. Next, going forward, we'll also add 2-3 drives. So we'll set up data files in one drive, log files in one drive. As of now, you don't know what is data file, what is log file. Okay, so once you get an idea what is data file, what is log file, so we'll also discuss about the recommendations. So next time, maybe when we set up that domain and all, Active Directory and all, that time I will change the drive letters. Okay, as we have only C drive, I'm dumping everything in the C drive. What is TempDB? What is the roles of TempDB in the SQL Server? There is a separate class on system databases. I'll explain about the TempDB. What is max DOP? What is the best performance, best recommended value? For now, I'll tell you this max DOP will help you to improve the performance of the SQL Server. How it will be, how much value you have to set, will be discussed in the performance tuning classes. What is the memory? How memory is useful? How much memory you have to allocate to SQL Server will be discussed in the performance tuning classes. File stream, if you want to insert any video content data like Netflix, Hotstar, YouTube, video content data will install file stream feature. Otherwise, we don't need file stream. That's it, guys. We can go ahead and finally, it will go for some checks. And once everything is successful, it will give you this command. Remember, guys, GUI doesn't mean that you are installing SQL Server using GUI. Okay? GUI doesn't mean that it will install in GUI. What GUI will do? Remember, we discussed this point earlier. What GUI will do? GUI.
Actions into command.
Correct. Very good. Very
All
good.
the commands are written behind.
Correct. So now you don't know what is the command to install SQL Server. You don't know what is the command to install SQL Server. But you have to install SQL Server. This GUI will help you to convert your actions. Now whatever you have selected, see, since beginning, you have selected a lot of things. Okay, already installed some things to be installed. It will install redistributables through file share, this one SDK and all. Features that you have selected, instance configuration, the default instance name. If you install default instance, it will take MS SQL Server. So Sanmukh, you said the computer name, right? I'll tell you, I'll explain, don't worry. All the default instances will show you MS SQL Server. Named instances will show you named, okay, particular name. And instance ID. What is the instance ID? I'll tell you again after the installation. So all these things, whatever we have selected, okay, the paths, collation settings, everything, account, minimum one account we have added, collation settings we have selected. We have selected Windows authentication. All these things will be converted into a command now. That command will be stored in which file, guys? Which file?
Configuration.
Configuration file.ini. So in this file, the command will be stored. And when I hit click install, the action is C. What is the command action? Install. I'm installing. If you are patching, it will show you action is equal to patch. If you are upgrading, it will show you action is equal to upgrade. If you are uninstalling, it will show you action is equal to uninstall. Okay, so like that it will show you. Now when I click install button, this configuration file.ini file will be called into the command prompt. It will pull all the required details, inputs, and then it will start installing SQL Server. That is all about the SQL installation, guys. It will take 5 to 10 minutes to complete the installation.
Sir?
Yes, please, Madhu.
Sir, can you open that configuration.ini file? Can you explain about...
Let's install first, okay? Let's install. Next, once installation is done, I'll show you. I'll open the configuration. Few things, guys, I would recommend to do exploration. Few things, because as I said, Shanmukh, you are taking 4 classes in a week, Saturday, Sunday. Monday to Friday will be free. How to practice? What to practice 5 days? So first thing is, whatever we discussed, blindly practice first time. Second time, in this 1 week, that 5 days, you have to practice 2-3 times at least that topic. You have to practice 2-3 times. At least one time you have to practice. Forget about 2-3 times. So one time 3-4 hours or 4-5 hours, what we will practice? So this kind of whatever questions you have, like exploration. Okay, Shanmukh said configuration file.ini. Chalo, let's go and check where it will be. Let me open this file, what it will be. That is called exploration. So just do some explorations. Okay. So again, we have discussed around 2.5 hours on this installation. And again, Shanmukh open configuration file.ini and explain all the things. No, just go and see whatever we discussed, the same command, it will be there. I'll show you. That's not a big deal, but I'll show you. I'll open and I'll show you how the command look like. Okay. So this is how the things will be, guys. Just do some little explorations and all. That doesn't mean that I'm not forcefully asking you to get some interest what exactly happening in the background and all. So you'll get some interest and all. That's it. Questions, guys?
Sir,
Yes, Madhu, tell me.
we get some requirements, right? Like install SQL Server in E drive. Does it mean installing that instance root directory and
Yes, in case, see, these paths also will be provided by application team, okay, in the build sheet for data files. Again, that's why to understand this concept, you should know, as of now, you know what is data file, what is log file and all, but others don't know, right? Slowly we'll discuss those things. What is a data file? What is a log file? How it will manage the data? What is the role of log file? What is the role of data file? Will be discussed everything slowly. So there I'll explain, okay? Few files they will ask you to store in the respective drives. Later you'll get to know what is the importance, why we have to store in the separate drives. You'll get to know once we started discussing these things. So that will be covered slowly, Madhu. Okay.
No, but Shanu, can I ask you something like when in a real-time environment, have you had a chance? You do need to restart the server most of the time, or was it is in the boot file, or the file which is given to you with instruction? Is it there that you need to restart the server in that environment, or it is not recommended, or it is not asked to do?
See, during installation, you can restart multiple times, not an issue. Once it is live, okay, either it is a non-prod or production. Once it is live, you have to take the proper approvals. We don't restart multiple times. We don't restart very frequently. When you are doing patching, when you are doing some maintenance activities which needs restart, then only you will restart. For example, you change service account, you have to restart. You are patching SQL Server, you have to restart. You are upgrading SQL Server, you have to restart. So when you are doing few maintenance activities, that needs restart. Not every activity will needs restart. Not so frequently will restart the server. Do you think that Amazon is down for every day for 5-10 minutes that we are restarting the server? Is it a good option? No. When you are doing a maintenance tasks, that time only we will restart. That doesn't mean very frequently we'll do maintenance tasks. Sometimes we'll do maintenance tasks to make sure to improve the performance, to enhance the security of the servers and all. Okay. Okay, guys, just wait for some time. Okay, so you can see the once the installation is completed, you have to validate whether it is successful or failed. So once validated, we can drop off for now and we can, okay, disconnect in the evening and we'll continue the discussion, guys.
Shanmugh, in prerequisite, why we require .NET framework?
As I said, this we have already covered. Okay, why we require .NET framework? Can anyone tell me? Why we need .NET framework?
Only that SQL Server we install.
Others, guys, why we need .NET framework? Tell me.
It's a prerequisite to install.
That is true. That is prerequisite only. Why? Why that is a prerequisite? See, RAM you know the importance, CPU you know the importance, and what others? Softwares you know the importance. Why .NET framework? This is already covered. If you just go through the recordings, you can see the answer. But I'm asking in case if anyone remember, try to recollect the answer, guys.
Like management tools, like
what? Management tools.
Like management the tools like SQL Management Studio, like this, like that. We
Very
require
good.
the data
Very good.
framework.
Very good, Om Prakash. Correct. As I said, for all Windows applications are GUI applications only. Windows is famous, Microsoft is famous for GUI. So GUI interface you need means you need one software, .NET framework, one software which help you to run the GUI interfaces smoothly. So for that purpose, as we will use Management Studio, as SQL Server is a GUI option. So if you install .NET Framework, then these GUI, whatever interfaces are there, okay, that you can see now. So these things will run properly. So for that, .NET Framework is mandatory for the Windows machine, not only for SQL Server. By default, .NET Framework is mandatory for all the Windows related applications. One more installation I'll show you guys, but I'll not again explain all these things. So whatever we discussed, so again I'll show you either 2019 or 2022 installation again, okay, maybe in the evening. But again, that it is not like again 2.5 hours lengthy discussion. Just this like this. See, the same installation can be done in 10 minutes also, but we took around 2.5 hours. 7 o'clock, 7:10 we started, almost 9:40. Okay, so around 2.5 hours we took, almost with breaks at least. If you okay count, at least 2 hours 20 minutes like that we spent. So the next time we'll not spend that much time. We'll simply we can install SQL Server in 10 minutes. As we don't know each option we discussed. So next time as we know the things, we can just go ahead and we can install simply. Okay. Vijay, your voice is too low. Guys, yeah, as Vijay, I can hear something. Okay, so I'll tell you. So SQL Server installation can be done in multiple ways. Almost 5-6 ways are there to install SQL Server. Almost 5-6 ways are there to install SQL Server. One is GUI way, which we are doing currently, GUI way of installation. Second one is command installation, CUI way. Using command also you can install SQL Server. Exactly the same thing it is doing currently now. Even though we are using GUI, in the backend it will convert into command. So that is command line utility installation. So using a single command also you can install SQL Server. Just hit the command, it will install SQL Server by default. Correct? Right. And the second, that is the second option, command way of installation. Third option is INI based installation. Using that INI file, you can prepare your own INI file manually. You can call that INI file to install SQL Server. That is third way of installation. Fourth way is using slipstream. What is that, guys? Slipstream means, for example, I have a SQL Server now, and I want to install SQL Server with the latest updates, whatever updates are there, cumulative update, service pack. Both I want to do at a time. During the installation itself, generally after installation we have to patch with the latest update. Okay, we have to patch with the latest update for security. It's a post installation step. But during installation itself, I want to install SQL Server and I want to install the update also. This time I didn't install the update because there is no internet connection. So if you want to do both at a time, SQL Server with update means we can use slipstream installation. And sysprep installation, I have 100 installations to complete. New project came, I have 100 installations to complete. How can I complete 100 installations? So the installation will be divided into two parts. Sysprep installation. So image preparation, image completion. Image preparation can be done by Windows team also. Image completion you can do, okay, from the DBA side. So these are all. And you can even use PowerShell command also to install SQL Server. So these are all the ways. If you are really interested, nothing to worry, go to our channel. Okay, that and all the see at the end of the day they will ask you to install SQL Server. They will not ask slipstream, sysprep or command way. No one will ask you. They need only SQL Server installation. Okay, so if you are really interested, I want to see Shanmukh how it will be. You can see. Let me show you. We have the resources. Go to YouTube. Go to our channel. Okay. And one more thing, let me highlight alt type. So you can see, first of all, let me complete this. Okay, server. See how to validate whether installation is completed or not successfully. See, whatever components we have selected should be successful, guys. This is the successful button. Okay, full text database engine, replication browser, writer, client tools, backward compatibility, client tools, SDK, SQL client connectivity, SDK. These are all the components are succeeded. You can see here status. So in this way, you can validate, okay, whether installation is successful or not. And I'll explain about this summary.txt file in the next class. In the interviews, they will ask you sometimes if installation is failed, where to check, how to check, where to see the errors. For that, the answer is summary.txt file. So this I'll tell you. If you open this now, for example, if you open this, it will tell you whether it is successful or failed. Final result, passed. Passed means successful. Exit code 0. 0 means without errors. If you see any number here, that means it was failed. So what and all components installed, everything. In case if any error is there, it will show you the error here. What kind of error it is, it will show you the error here. Okay. So this is the summary.txt file. First place is if the installation is failed, it is sometimes it will be failed. So if the installation is failed, where to check? The first place is summary.txt file will be generated automatically. Then it will be continued in the next class, guys. Will be discussed. Okay. So now if you go to our channel, SVSC University videos, okay, you can just go to the search button. You can use also search button. So you can type command based installation. Okay, not now, not recently. See, 6 years ago, I just created one video. Okay, 2008 for 2008 INI based installation and all, and SQL Server 2005 installation using command, 2005 installation using command. See, it can be any version. Okay, 2005 or 8 or 12 or 14 or 16 or 17 or 19. The process is same. You have to, okay, create a command first, and then you have to install using the command. If you are really interested to learn, you can go through this command. And INA based installation. In the beginning itself, you can see SQL Server INA based installation. Okay, see INA based installation of SQL Server 2008 and 2012 command prompt. And what else? Slipstream installation. Slipstream. Okay, you can see the slipstream installation, advanced slipstream, advanced slipstream. You can see, okay, these are all advanced slipstream videos. Okay, advanced slipstream videos. Right, this is slipstream installation. Right, and sysprep installation, system preparation. Sysprep means system preparation. Okay, so you can see that also sysprep installation. Okay, so sysprep installation, you can see this is the way of doing sysprep installation. So it's your wish. But generally we don't use slipstream, sysprep. No, we don't use any option. We'll use only GUI option, or sometimes command we'll use to install. Rarely we'll use command also. So that is all about the SQL installation, guys. Okay. Yeah. So then that's it for now, and we'll connect again in the evening 7 p.m. IST, guys. Thank you all. For US people, tomorrow morning 9:30 EST. Okay. Thank you all, guys. Bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.